let's be honest, some of the best resources are in actual books. So what we're going to do in this video is have a look at how we can take a copy of a page from a book using a mobile device and Google Drive and upload it directly into Google Drive, and then take that PDF that's been scanned from the book and use Kami to actually turn it into an assignment that's posted then to Google Classroom for students to work on. Let's go. Now let's capture the scan from our textbook. This process is good for when you've only got 1 or 2, possibly 3 pages. If you've got more than that you're wanting to scan, then that's a separate process that I would recommend for that. Make sure you've got the Google Drive app installed on your mobile device. Go ahead and open that up. And make sure that you're logged in with the correct account. My suggestion is to find the folder in your Google Drive where you'd like the document to be uploaded. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tap on this plus button here, and then you're going to select Scan. So that's going to take a photo. So line that up and take your photo. It'll give you a preview. And if you're happy that you've captured the entire page, go ahead and tap on OK. You'll get a preview of the scan. If you need to adjust it, you can use the enhancement tools, such as adding in some other filters. You can rotate it if you need to. And if it hasn't selected the area correctly, you can hit this crop button here and adjust these lines to make sure that it's got the page captured correctly. Press done when you're happy with it. I would suggest actually editing the file name. And going OK. And then pressing save. And that will upload to your Google Drive. Now, before you start anything, you'll need to make sure that you have installed the Kami for Google Chrome extension. So go ahead and do that, and it'll show up in your extensions bar here or in your list of extensions. Because you've got a HIS Google account, it's not a problem. When you sign in, just make sure you sign in with that account and you'll be good to go. Once you've got that Kami extension installed, you'll need to go to Google Drive and find where you have uploaded the scan of the page from your textbook that you took. Go ahead and right click on that, and you're going to go open with, and then we're going to annotate with Kami. Once you've got it loaded up, you can do any markups that you need to do. So for example, you can highlight sections, you can add comments, text boxes, and so forth. So go through and explore those tools. What might be useful is to add comments to it, perhaps with a voice note on the question or on the section of text that you want students to pay attention to. And that way, there's a little bit of extra information there for students to actually use to help them understand what they need to do. You can also record screencasts and video comments as well, or a good old-fashioned text comment. Take your pick. Once you're done, you'll need to then make sure you've saved it, and then to get ready for Google Classroom, come up to the menu over here, click on that, and we're going to create an assignment. Once this page pops up, figure out which class it's for. So I'll use my demonstration classroom. You can then select the students that it applies to, so it's either the whole class, or you can go through and actually select just those students who need it. If you're using the task to differentiate for students, decide whether or not you want to publish it or have it in draft form. Now, this feature restrictions here is useful because you can turn off certain tools that you don't want students to use when they're responding to the particular task. So go through and work out if you need any of those turned off, and deselect them as required. Put your title in, like that. Any instructions that you need. it's already attached the document for you. Just select or make sure that the make a copy for each student is selected, unless of course you need one of these other options. I hate points, so I'm going to turn that off. Due dates, when you want it to actually be assigned. Topics if you're using them, so give it the correct topic if you need to. You can send the instructions to about how to use Kami to the students, and then you can attach any other documents that you're going to need as well. When all of that's done, go ahead and hit the assign button. Now you can go ahead and open it in Classroom if you need to check it. All right, so in my teacher view, here I am. I've got my assignment that I've just posted here, and I can view the details for that assignment and update them if I need to. Let's switch now and have a look at it from a student perspective. So my student knows there's some work to be done, so they come and click on the link to the assignment, and then they can click on the attachment that you've created for them. Now that will default to opening it up in preview mode in Google Drive. What they'll need to do, they'll also need to have Kami installed and be signed in, and they can go ahead and then click on Open with Kami. Right, it'll ask them this thing again. They can go no thanks on it. And likewise, they can then respond to anything that's on the page. It could be that you've asked them to take annotations, so they might use the commenting tool, they might add their own text, they might use some drawing tools to annotate certain parts or label things. They might, they've also got access to the text-to-speech tool. It's not brilliant, but they've got that option, or they can go through and do the same markup. They've got all the same tools that you do as a teacher. So if it's a page from a textbook, for example, where you've got some questions that you want them to answer, they can simply go ahead, choose the comment tool, choose how they're going to comment, whether it be through text, voice, or video, or perhaps even screen capture. And they just simply need to then click where they want that comment to go. It'll be over here, and then they can type their response in there, or they can use voice typing if they wish as well. So we'll put a response in. So once everything's been done, they can then click on the Save or Turn In button here. It asks them to check what they've got here, and then they can go Turn In. They will need to authorize. This part's a little bit annoying because it does this quite often. So choose their account. And then it'll have the progress bar up here for them. And that's now submitted. And they can unsubmit and add more annotations if they need to. And there's a few other tools there, like creating their own copy or downloading a copy as well. And then they can click Done. All right, let's go back and have a look at it from a teacher view. So back in Google Classroom, come to your classwork page, find the assignment, and go ahead and view that assignment. You can then click on a student's work. So again, by default, it will open in Google Drive preview mode. What you'll need to do is come here to where it says Grade with Kami and tick that box, and that will reload your page. Once it's reloaded, if you need some more real estate in terms of being able to see what's on the page, you can actually hide the side panel, and then you can see what the student has responded with here as well. So you can click on the comment, and it will let you add another comment if you need to. If you don't want to make the comment, you can trash it. And so you can work your way through and check the student comments. So you can either read what they've done, you can reply. When you reply, you can also voice type if you need to. Alternatively, you can also just jump straight to audio comments and just put a comment over the top and go through and grade it like that as well. When you're done, you can go ahead and press the save button to make sure that any changes you've made have saved, or you can download a copy if you need to. You can return it to the student and then move on to the next student in your class. So there you go. That's how you can take a resource like a page from a textbook or perhaps a printed worksheet that you might have, being able to digitize that and put it into a format for students to be able to actually work on it and submit the work back to you to be able to provide some feedback. Now, the process for ManageBack, I know some of you like using ManageBack over using Google Classroom. That's cool. The process would be a little bit different. So I can either make that another tutorial for you, or you can contact me and I'll step you through that. All right, as always, if you run into dramas, let me know. Have a good one.